Welcome back to the Pozcast, a podcast where each week my brother and I rewatch one of our favorite movies, talk about it, reminisce, hand out some awards. This week, Bobby, we enter into the Taylor Sheridan universe for one of his first movies. I'm talking about 2016's Hell or High Water. Now, Bob, it's probably been a little bit since you've seen this one. What were the initial thoughts on the rewatch?
One, I didn't know Taylor Sheridan wrote it until I saw him on that horse. I was like, is that Taylor Sheridan? And then I looked at it. That guy he's pretty damn talented, huh?
We're going to go through his writing career. He's basically writing every TV show that exists right now. And I don't think he's a great actor, but he always puts himself into everything that he does. He's the same exact character. Gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm talking muscular as he goes through this thing. And he basically just starts wearing less and less clothes, trying to show you how big he is. But he's unbelievable on a horse, and he gets to do it a little bit here.
I tell you what, it was, and I think the best thing about this, and man, look how much we've grown, Mark. The best thing about this movie was the acting and the writing. It was very, very good. It's a downer. It's pretty sad. It's a lot of, this could have been in the vein of What Would You Do? Because it basically puts you in the thoughts in the body of Chris Pine. We'll talk about kind of the plot of the story and, brothers and what would you do if you're in this position. But the writing was incredible in the fact that within, 30 seconds of meeting a character, you know everything about him. And I think that's good. Like, you're like, oh, okay, that's this kind of guy. That's this kind of guy. When you meet Alberto and you meet Jeff Bridges and you meet every character, you're like, okay, I kind of know their whole backstory. I know who they are, what they're trying to be in 30 seconds. And I have to believe that's the hardest part of writing. I mean, when me and you write our script, it's like, Jeff looks into the sunset and, how do you write this? Obviously the acting is great. Chris Pine is awesome. I'll talk a little bit about, he should be a bigger star, right? I thought he was awesome in this movie. Bridges is awesome. And it was unbelievably critically acclaimed. So again, I didn't love this movie when I saw it. It wasn't really it wasn't in our top 150. He said, hey, let's do it. And I watched it. I was like, man, that was awesome. And then you go look at the awards and yeah, it was nominated for every damn award in every single category of every single academy. So it was very good. I really, really liked suspenseful. I had kind of forgotten what happened. I kind of knew and forgot. So you're rooting for these characters. You're wanting to know what happens with these characters, which is ultimately is just great writing. Great writing.
Yeah, that was the takeaway I had. Very well written. Look, this is coming off Limitless, a movie that we just kind of ripped on the writer a little bit, left a lot of holes. This one's pretty tight. It's well thought out, could all seemingly sort of happen. Kind of a cool idea, the way they do it. And yeah, I mean, Jeff Bridges, Chris Pine. You write about Chris Pine. When we get to his Hall of Fame plaque, there wasn't much there. Now, he's played some really cool, iconic characters, but he should be a bigger star. And Ben Foster, he's one of those guys, he doesn't show up a lot. I always enjoy watching him. He's a great character actor, especially when he's playing a guy like Tanner in this movie, which is kind of in the vein of like a gem out there, right? Like he's just a crazy kind of guy, right?
Yeah, he was great. Mark, I have got to get to the bottom of this flashing lights thing. I don't get it. I don't understand. It's on every single movie we watch. There are no flashing lights in this movie. None. Explain to me why this is rated R for flashing lights.
That's a good point. I meant to say this to you. You came to my daughter's final Cirque show last week, the Last Dance, and before that they announced, hey, there will be some flashing lights in this. Now, to their credit, there are some flashing lights.
Those are real flashing lights. Like if you have epilepsy or something, you better close your eyes. Epileptics this is approved, a thumbs up by the Epileptic Society of America. There's no seizures happening in this movie.
Yeah, I don't even think there's ever a scene where the lights are not on.
Maybe the cop lights. Maybe. The last stand, those cop lights. I don't know. I don't know.
Critically acclaimed, as you mentioned, not that big of a hit at the box office, and I can understand why. I mean, $38 million, 159 worldwide. You've got some stars in it, but it is kind of a slow, tense action thriller. Taylor Sheridan was not a household name yet at this point. Number one that year Captain America Civil War. Did you ever partake in that one, Bob? You're kind of on the fringe of the MCU, yes?
Yeah, I did. This new Marvel movie is crushing the box. Was it like Thunderbolts or something like
Thunderbolts,
that?
yeah.
Any interest in that?
No. I think I'm out on the
Yeah.
What was the end game? That was great. I thought they did a phenomenal job with that. I'm not really interested in like, oh, now there's another Captain America. Oh, now there's another version of this. Like, just kind of time to kind of put that away. Number 2, and here's the tie-in, Bobby. Rogue One. Now, I know you're not into the Star Wars thing like I did. Rogue One was the prequel to Star Wars. This show that's been out on TV right now, Disney Plus, Andor, is the prequel to Rogue One. And it ended. Phenomenal. I'm not recommending you watch it because you don't like it, but if you are interested in Star Wars, Andor, Season 2, phenomenal, and Rogue One.
What
Check
makes
that
it
out.
phenomenal, Mark? What makes it phenomenal? Serious
It's
question.
really well done, really well directed, really well acted, and you could watch an episode and not know it was Star Wars. There's occasionally like a stormtrooper off to the side, but you've always asked the question, hey, I like Star Wars, but why are they fighting? What's the war about? This kind of shows you why the rebellion started. Like, it's just the slow crush of the Imperials kind of cracking down on freedom, and these guys are like, we've had enough. We've got to kind of start this thing. So it's very fringe Star Wars. It's like there's no Darth Vader, there's no Luke Skywalker, there's no Force, lightsaber, any of that. It's just the very, very beginnings of these guys saying, we've had enough.
Did the Imperial Army like put like Doge to find waste, fraud, and abuse across the galaxy, and people said no, thank you?
No, but they're just kind of like taking over planets, like extracting minerals and things, and just people.
Rare earth. We got a new rare earth deal in Ukraine. We're gonna. I love Trump says it. He goes, a great deal. We've got a tremendous amount of rare earth.
I love it. 2016, this thing came out, Bobby. I wouldn't call this a great year at the theater, but here are some notable ones. Deadpool, which we have covered on this pod. That was a really good one. One of your favorites, Bob. Sing, with our guy Matthew McConaughey as like, what was he, like a koala bear? What was it?
An incredible movie, animated or not, just an incredible movie.
What was the Johnny? What is it, Johnny? What?
Johnny, that's my son. Yeah, it's the best.
Really good stuff. Arrival.
Jailbreak. They celebrate a jailbreak. The dad breaks out of jail, and everybody celebrates him.
Sing. It is good. The sequel was okay. The first one's really, really good. Yeah. Arrival, which is sci-fi, a movie I love. It's got, speaking of Jeremy Renner is in that. And then you talked about a downer, Bob. Bigger downer. This movie or Manchester by the Sea? Manchester by the Sea, one of the all-time downers.
That's what it was made for. It was made to be a downer. Like, there's some suspense and some mystery in this movie. Nothing like that in Manchester by the Sea.
Tough one. Our guy Casey Affleck.
Did you listen to Renner on Rogan?
Incredible. What an unbelievable story. That's funny. He's in a bunch of these things. I had the Renner tie-in, but look, he was in Arrival. Yeah, on Rogan, tells the story of him getting run over by this snowcat. His eye popped out. I mean, this guy was basically on death's doorstep, but I tell you what, I don't know what kind of guy he was like before this. What an optimistic, great dude, right?
Mark, if you're a true Christian, and that's not me, I'm trying to be one, and you think of death is just the beginning of the greatest, you can't even describe how great it is if that's what you truly believe, which I do. He caught a glimpse. Imagine how you'd live. That's how you'd live. Now, he doesn't have to worry about money. So I always am like, it's when you get advice from really rich people, you're like, yeah, but you don't have to worry about money. But there's probably a lesson to be had there for sure on payday for a lot of folks, a Friday on payday. So, but yeah, he saw the other side and he says it's amazing. And so what is there to lose? But yeah, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, you'd always kind of heard about, he had an accident or he got this or that. I never really knew the extent of which he was in, and having to go through it multiple times because it's like a tank, like the treadmill was just going over. The first one was bad, but then he was like, I knew what was happening. Like they kept coming, and he described it really good, like this just intense pressure pushing down on his body against the ice.
Yeah.
What an amazing, amazing story. Yeah.
You know, shout out to Spotify. Maybe we can get a contract like Joe Rogan with Spotify. If you have Spotify, I think it's premium or whatever. I don't even know what I have, but I pay for it, and you can get a million audiobooks for free. And that
Is his on it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I haven't started listening to it. They say on the audiobook they play the live 911 call. I don't know if I want to hear that. That would be a little too much for me, I think. But yeah,
I did hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's Renner, right? Renner reads the book.
I don't know. I didn't look that far. Yeah. I haven't started listening to it yet.
You mentioned the acclaim, Bob. 4 Academy Award nominations. This thing was nominated for Best Picture. Didn't win. Moonlight. Give me a Moonlight Graham, Bob.
Moonlight Graham. R.I.P.
That was your winner that year. Screenplay, no doubt about that. Taylor Sheridan knocked it out of the park with that. Editing, and then the Best Supporting Actor nod to Jeff Bridges. Did you like Jeff Bridges' performance? He's a different kind of cat.
Well, I think I have it in Bob's Big Questions, and I'll just say it now is he just doing a mix between Sling Blade and the Dude? I mean, it's a little much. Like, it was a little Sling Blade, a little Dude, but yes, absolutely loved him, and absolutely am looking for real estate in West Texas. I want to live in West Texas, man. Golly. And well, that's another one of my notes is like not halfway through, but maybe 45 minutes through this movie, I'm like, when does this movie take place? Because I see Alberto vaping. I'm like, I thought this was in the 70s.
No.
It was kind of a, it could take place in anything, in any time. But yeah, he was great. He was fantastic. I got some good questions on retirement and sheriffs and all that stuff.
Yeah, I had West Texas as one of my things that held up. I thought it was just exceptional. Let's do a little Taylor Sheridan deep dive here, Bobby. You mentioned it was your first thing that you said off the top. Wow, this is really good and well written. And then you kind of later found out it was Taylor Sheridan. He's only done 4 movies, but listen to this lineup, Bob. 2015, Sicario. I watched, every now and again, I get the YouTube short of when Benicio sits down at the table with the drug lords, like, it's time to meet God. Just an incredible scene. Rudy Sack Award coming up. 16, this movie, Hell or High Water. He does Wind River in 17 with Renner. Did you ever see it? It's a cool movie.
No. Wind
River.
Oh,
check it out. And then Sicario 2. I think it's like Dia de Soldado.
Yes. Sorry, wait, I talked over you. Go ahead, Mark. What was it again?
Dia de Soldado. Sicario. I remember enjoying it, but it's not near the movie the first one is.
Listen, we did a whole podcast about how sequels are not good, and that wasn't not good, but it was like, the first one is so damn. When are we doing that? When are we pulling the drywall off and seeing those dead bodies?
Oh boy, put it on. And you get to watch Emily Blunt, Bob.
Oh, golly. Well, listen, I've had my share of good-looking people with Chris Pine. Holy cow, he is one attractive man. Holy cow.
And they're trying to make him look as grimy and greasy as they possibly can, and it's almost like he's too pretty for the movie in a way, right?
Listen, take a YouTube short of that. He is a fantastically looking man. He is incredibly good looking. Holy cow.
After Sicario 2, our guy Sheridan pivots over to TV, starts with Yellowstone, which just made this guy a household name and a superstar, a show that I watched throughout, saw it to the end. It faded. The first couple seasons were really good, and then it became a little soap opera-ish.
Yeah.
The conclusion was decent. You were kind of in and out on Yellowstone, right?
We're in different stages of life, whereas your kids are basically gone. You just have a little bit more time. I'm not saying you're lazy and you have more time. I just got kids sports. It's just tough to get it in, and Mary doesn't like watching it, so it's tough to get it in. Although I've got this, I've got a TV. I've made the gym and made the garage into some little gym space and stuff. I got a cold plunge. Did I tell you that?
Nice.
Yeah, one of those portable. It's not just easy. Everybody relax. It's not, it's just basically just a little tub there. So I got a TV out there, so I'm catching up on some shows, catching up on Landman. I can't watch Mobland because I gotta listen so hard to those accents. I can't do it when I'm doing jumping jacks and stuff.
Closed captioning. It'll change your life. Put the captions on.
Yeah, that's a great point. I thought I was a little too young for closed captioning, but maybe I'm not.
No. Here's a show I did not recommend Andor to you. I don't know if you've seen this. We never talked about it. Mayor of Kingstown, another Taylor Sheridan project with Renner.
now that I've purchased Paramount Plus, I'll get into Mayor of Kingstown. I've never seen it.
It's great. It's Renner being Renner.
Okay.
Then we pivot into the Yellowstone prequels. You get 1883 and 1923. 1883, in my opinion, is the best of them. I guess maybe you haven't checked them out, but you do have Paramount Plus now.
I got Paramount Plus now.
Okay.
Which I think it's included in the Roku TV, but then I think I still pay for it. It's just I can't figure out what's going on. Can't figure out what's going on.
1923, okay. It's got Harrison Ford and is it Helen Mirren? Maeve from Mobland is his wife. Obviously a much different character in 1923 than she is in Mobland. But 1883, I know you're a big Tim McGraw, Faith Hill fan. They are a couple in it. They're like I don't even know what version of the Duttons that is, but really good.
But they are the Duttons.
Don't quote me on that. I don't remember. But there's somehow, yes, I think. They may not be Duttons, but they
may know the Duttons.
He gets to... I'll look it up after the spot. He gets to Montana. He basically parks himself there. That's kind of the point of 1883 is him finding somewhere to go, and he gets to Montana essentially. So he's got to be some part.
Maybe.
Tulsa King. Sheridan also writes this with Sly. That's pretty good. He's like a mob guy. And then Landman. Now there's Lioness and some of these other things in there. Landman was exceptional just because it's Billy Bob Thornton and it's a great part for him. They'll be coming back with season 2, and you're all caught up on Landman with one of the great all-time cameos in the history of cameos.
I'm getting caught up.
Have you seen the
Jerry Jones? No.
Yeah, great. It's exceptional.
No, I haven't seen it yet. What I'm finding out with Landman is I get all I need to from TikTok. It comes up on TikTok just the monologue. So I think I kind of know what's going to happen here, but it's still good. It's West Texas. You know I'm a West Texas guy.
You are. Yeah, Landman. So Simmons, a guy we listen to quite a bit, says Landman is the best show you don't have to watch. He's like, just put it on. It's probably to the point. It's just you need to see a couple of Billy Bob Thornton clips here or there. He's just got some great lines.
Yeah. Who's the Simmons you talk about? I don't listen to Simmons. Who's Simmons?
Bill. He's a Celtics fan. He's really, really down bad.
Don't know him or any of the shows that he produces over there.
Well, I am excited. And I was hoping you would catch it, the helicopter rating. We'll make a triumphant return here. We don't see one, but Bobby, what's the rating?
The last scene when the brother is pinned up there and he's taking shots at him, for a very brief second, Jeff Bridges says, we're going to need a helo there to get those boys pinned down. So it got a .50 helo ranking.
Wow, that's tough. 0.50. I thought it'd been a little higher, but no. That's fair.
No, it's he said helo. If he would have said helicopter, it would have got a 1. It's basically a half of a point ranking, which is fine. Don't be disappointed, Mark. You're so disappointed. Don't be disappointed.
I'm just happy I got a rating. Sneak preview next week. Braveheart. There will be no helicopter. There will be no helicopter rating.
Doesn't he swings one of those things when he's fighting that big guy, or maybe who knows? I don't know.
I'll leave it to you. We talked about the Academy Award nominations. This thing was well received, Bobby. Well, how about in your categories, the Golden Schmoes? Anything?
What it did do, it got a Golden Schmo for Line of the Year. And the line of the year was "Only assholes drink Mr. Pibb," which was a good quote.
I wrote that down. Yeah. I thought that was a great quote.
Yeah, it was a great quote. I got a Bob's Big Question on things that are similar but different, and what do you like better? It was nominated for just 1 billion. So if you go on IMDb, where I get all these from, it's like San Diego Film Festival, Indianapolis Film Festival, it's everything. So it just got nominated for everything. There was really no foreign awards, which we always get a kick out of. So not necessarily a good one. I've already mentioned this. This could have been kind of our Crimson Tide. Do you press the button? Our Limitless. Do you take the pill? I like these movies because me and you are brothers, and that's going to be one of the things that holds up is brothers and loyalty. Mm-hmm. And if I asked you, hey Mark, we got to go do something, do you just do it because you're my brother? Now we hate prison, so I don't know if we're going this far. But that's always a good piece of a movie is what would you do, and then you envy the loyalty that brothers have and friends have and families have. And the other thing too that's always good in a movie like this is you find yourself one, you care what happens to these characters, right? We said this on Limitless, and let me just throw Looper in there too. Just didn't really care what happened to these people. But every single character in here, the four major characters, Armando,
Alberto,
Jeff Bridges, and the two brothers, you really cared what was going to happen. You knew, what's the brother's name? Why do I keep saying, what's his name?
Tanner and Toby.
Tanner. Like, you kind of knew what was going to happen with Tanner. That was a one-way street. But you didn't know what was really going to happen with all the others, so you really, really care. And at the end of the day, you're basically rooting for murderers, cop killers, and rank robbers. It's probably a good recipe for good writing and a good movie. So, yeah, it's good. All good.
All right, let's jump into scenes. I had a bunch. I've got about 5 that I really like. And look, when you write this kind of good dialogue and you've got a wild card like Tanner, there's going to be good scenes. You just can't not do it. And we love bank heists, right? That'll be something to hold up. So you get a lot of that. And it's not a precision bank heist. This isn't like, oh, we're doing this. This is just 2 dudes running into a building, screaming, yelling.
It's like how me and you would rob a bank. That's
it's
cool.
exactly. Yeah. There's no planning. It's just like, let's do this. So what do you got, Bob? What's your favorite scene?
Well, my favorite scene doesn't have Tanner or Toby in it. It's at the T-Bone Diner.
Oh, she is incredible.
A rattlesnake as a waitress. I thought that was the best. That was the best line. There's no quotes in this movie, but it's got a rattlesnake as a waitress. She comes up and says, "Hey, what won't you have?" And then they start asking and all these questions. Like, no, nobody's. I've been working here for 64 years. Nobody's ever ordered anything but a T-bone and a baked potato. So the question is, what won't you have? The green beans or the corn?
If it was some asshole from New York who ordered trout, we don't serve trout.
Jeff Bridges goes, I don't want the green beans. Guys, I don't want the green beans either.
And then she goes, 2 T-bones, medium rare. And the one guy starts chirping up and she goes, 2 T-bones, medium rare.
It's such a good scene. I want to live in West Texas. Loudonsville, South Carolina, where I'm going to move to eventually, is similar, different, but similar to that. Just, some good old hometown. The standoff on the road, obviously at the end, they rob the bank that's filled with people. Just, maybe a sneak peek into worse decisions. But they're on a time crunch. It was a while before I figured out the plot. I was like, and that's the mystery. Why are they robbing these banks? You get the feeling immediately that obviously it's for some quote unquote good reason, right? Chris Pine's good reason is to save the ranch, which has just recently found oil. And these banks, I love just shitting on the banks the whole time, put a reverse mortgage, which somebody probably agreed to. Like you don't just sign paperwork to that, but I've got to get it away from the bank because they don't know there's oil on it. So there's a quote unquote, good reason. And then they get to the last bank because they got to get a certain amount of money into the bank at a certain time. So they got to go. And they rob this bank with all these people, and then it's a chase. Just civilians just chasing them down the road. West Texas. I love it. And then he pulls around the corner and gets his automatic weapon out and just fires, and they all run. That's
hilarious.
And then for some reason, I loved the hotel room with him and Alberto. Just the back and forth. I love the fact that we'll talk a little bit about this. Hotel rooms on golf trips with buddies. They weren't sharing a room. But Bridges goes into his room anyway. Like people just want to hang out. They just want to hang out. Yeah. I love that. So those three were good ones, I thought. And and the last standoff.
Incredible.
That's probably the best one. I kind of went towards the T-Bone Diner because I thought it was so funny. But the last standoff where both of them know exactly what the other person is doing. The dialogue between them is awesome. The tension between them is awesome. And then leaving you on the cliffhanger of how, I'm sure you're going to ask the question, what happens next in this in this saga? So, any ones I missed?
Yeah, no, I will concur on the very last scene, just because this could be done so poorly in a lot of ways, like some big shootout or some big this or some big twist. Oh, it was something that you didn't even see coming. There was a third brother who was doing this, that, or the other. Just them two just kind of staring each other down. But we will talk about that in different ending. What do you think? Here's a couple things that I really enjoyed, Bob. The opening two robberies. Because to your point, you get the personalities of Toby and Tanner immediately. Yeah. You know Tanner's just the wild card. This is not going to go well. He's going to make a bad decision. And Toby's the brains behind the operation. And he's got, like, let's not shoot anybody. Let's not do this. Let's not do that. They're just grabbing a couple $1,000 to when these guys investigate. It's like, it's $1,000. Like, who cares? They didn't grab any big bills. It's just good. You know, the gas station, when they pull up, the whole thing about Mr. Pibb, Toby never moves. He's just kind of like laying there, and the guy's like pointing the gun at him. And then Chris Pine comes around and just starts beating him up. It's just a funny scene. And then I had one more. Oh, when Tanner goes to rob a bank when they're sitting there in that diner, that Toby has no idea that he's doing. And he comes running out, start the car. Bills are flying out, just flying everywhere. But the follow-up to that is really good. When the Rangers, like Jeff Bridges and Alberto, go in there, and the townspeople want nothing to do with helping them. They're like, let's stick it to the bank, and the waitress is like, it's my money. I'm not giving you my money.
They want nothing to do with the bank.
Correct.
They're willing to help the cops, but they want nothing to do with the help.
No, yeah, like that bank's been robbing me for 30 years.
I do love it. But, I'll talk a little bit more about a couple other things. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, but the movie ends on a really high note. That just showdown it's kind of brought me back to like Crimson Tide. You don't need a shootout, just two dudes staring each other down, kind of a verbal volley, and it's great because you are a little bit like, what's going to go? Somebody going to pull the trigger here? What's going to happen? So, all right, Bobby, quotes. You had it in some award. Only assholes drink Mr. Pibb. I'll just going back a little bit further. Anything you want, Dr. Pepper. Winston Lights is all. And then you don't need to cuss to be funny. They're in the casino. Tanner says something. Toby says something to Tanner, and Tanner just goes, "Suck a D, eat my A." I don't know why. I just thought that part was funny. What do you got? Anything memorable?
I need you sober. Who the hell gets drunk off of beer? The only reason I think that's funny is Big Tom Weidman, a good buddy of mine. He's 6'10". All of his kids are big, and his lesson to his kids, and they're all getting into college, he's like, listen, just stick to beer. You can't get in trouble with beer because they're so big. Like, he could drink 1,000 beers and it doesn't even affect him. I can make some bad decisions off of beer. He's like, just stick to beer, which is probably good advice. Just stick to the beer. Don't you start getting into the brown stuff or the clear stuff, it can make you make some bad decisions.
Have you, Bob, I don't mean to interrupt. I mean, have you gotten to the part in Landman where the bartender says that to him?
Yeah.
Because in Landman, he goes, I quit drinking. Give me a Coors Light. The guy's like, this is alcohol. And he goes, I'll tell you what, let me drink 5 of these, and then I'll come back tomorrow night, and I'll drink 5 whiskeys. You tell me which one has alcohol in it. It's kind of to your point. You could drink beer all day long.
Yeah, exactly. Alberto says, tweakers don't sleep, they tweak.
Yeah, he was big on the tweakers. He really thought the tweakers, too.
And then the last, obviously, these aren't quotes that we use. They're funny. But I just love, it's Sling Blade and the Dude, right? That just think of Jeff Bridges as Sling Blade and the Dude, and he goes to the bank where Tanner hit the bank teller in the nose, and he's all bloodied, and he goes, "Oh man, they popped you in the schnozola." Suck a D,
eat my A. I'm gonna have to bring that into the lexicon. All right, it hadn't been that long, Bobby. This is kind of one of the newer movies that we've ever done. You've mentioned a few things of what holds up. West Texas probably being at the top of the list. The top of my list on what holds up, Bob, the Second Amendment, which brings me to the only problem maybe in this movie is if you're going to rob a bank, West Texas might not be the spot to do it. Everybody's carrying. But what do you got? What holds up?
Everybody's carrying. Yeah, West Texas, small towns. I love talking to people normally in scary situations. The very first bank robbery, she goes, "Oh, y'all must be new at this. You should leave now. The only thing guilty you've been of is being stupid." I love that.
That's good.
Cops hold up, man. Cops hold up. You press a button. Think of this. There's a bank robbery happen. It not necessarily happened in this movie, but there's a bank robbery happen. You press the little button under the thing, and cops just come running, man. Like, what a job where anyone's in trouble. You just come to I've told the story about the guy outside of my house, and I had my weapon drawn. I was just waiting to see those headlights come, and they came. They're the best. Good writing holds up. Loyalty and brothers, man. It's the best, man. Like Tanner would do anything for his little brother. you already mentioned it when he robs that bank and they don't know nobody's running. I love money flying in the air. I love it. You know, however it gets there, I just love bills flying. It was stuck down his shirt. I love that. Holds up. Funny racism? Does funny racism hold up? Like jabbing, and it does, like, hey, you know, white people can't dance and can't like just that ribbing of him just crushing Alberto being Indian and Mexican. I think that holds up. Can we say that?
I mean, I wrote down busting balls, right?
Okay.
Those are two buddies. But like, to your point, if somebody else said it to Alberto, I think Jeff Bridges would knock him out. You know,
Correct.
like it's just that relationship.
Correct. Riding a horse to a gas station, the gas station where that scene happens, there's just a horse there. I love that. Not trusting bankers, that holds up. I don't know if that holds up. I mean, Fumbalaya, I trust Ian. He's a mortgage banker. He's helped me out with a bunch of mortgages. I trust him, but I love the trope of not trusting the banks and hating the banks. And then, you know, maybe the Rudy Sack. There's a line in a song that says, "I hope my ceiling becomes your floor." Just this idea of hoping your kids just do better than you do, which is, you know, ultimately what drives Pine to do what he does for his kids. So, you know, striving to make sure that your kids' lives are better than yours holds up for sure.
Yeah, we didn't mention it in quotes, but that dialogue about being poor is like a disease.
Oh, yeah.
It affects you, and my kids ain't gonna be poor. You know, that's why he did it. It was really good.
Yeah.
More what holds up, Bobby. The robbery is just right away. I mean, we just jump right into this thing. We don't need a bunch of exposition about him mourning his mom passing away, you know, and we were going to lose the thing. Like, I like how they just tell you later on.
Yeah, it's a mystery. I don't know why they're robbing these banks.
That's good.
The
score.
It's for something.
Correct. Yeah, they're doing it. The score, really good music, and just that kind of like violin that's playing through it was really good. Old cowboys. That just holds up, right? You just see a dude, you just know you can't mess with an old cowboy. He's got that dirty pair of jeans on, boots, and a hat. It's just a tough dude.
I don't know if I've ever told you, so I got goosebumps right now. So for our 20th anniversary, we went to Park City, Utah, and you can get to Wyoming for like a 2-hour drive, and it's an unbelievable drive. So, and you're just in the corner of there's nothing in Wyoming, but we were like, hey, let's go to a new state. And it was a cool drive. And we stop at this diner in western Wyoming.
Did the music scratch as you walked in?
No, it's so funny you said that because I thought it would but it wasn't a populated town, but there was like a bigger gas station and this and that. So, but there's a dude in there and he's just eating breakfast, basically sleeping between you know, bites. His wife is with it. I mean, he's worked harder in the past 30 minutes than I have in my entire life.
Yeah.
Just a hard life, man. A hard life.
Cool dudes.
Yes.
More what holds up. The Texas Rangers, Bob. It's an actual thing. Still exists.
Yeah.
How about oil holding up, Bob? Nothing will hold up more than oil. I mean, President Trump just spent a couple of days there in Saudi Arabia. They gave him a little drop of oil. He had some funny quotes on it. Good stuff.
Well, I don't like in Landman when he says there's only 120 years left. 120 years of reserves of oil. That's not enough. Like, we need more.
Is that accurate? I guess
I don't know.
More.
Well, Billy Bob said it. Taylor Sheridan wrote it. It's obviously got to be true.
Yeah, Musk will figure it out. The final thing that holds up, Bobby, that's what she said jokes. Toby says something to Tanner. Tanner just goes, that's what she said. I just dying. I mean, just a little levity in an otherwise really exciting movie, Bobby. All right, questions. One of my favorite parts of every episode. What do you got?
This cop is so certain that Chris Pine is not a suspect. How is Chris Pine not a suspect? Like, everybody knows it's two people. Everybody knows he's got a brother. And she's like, no, sir. No way he's a suspect. No way.
Probably the big, like, this thing is airtight, like this script. But you're right. That last thing, it's like, hey, wait a second. There's two dudes robbing banks. Who is Tanner? Like, he's got to be at least tangibly a suspect, right? You know?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm sure Tanner doesn't have his fraternity brothers that they could look at. Like, he's He's not hanging out with a lot of dudes.
And they just magically pay off this reverse mortgage.
Well,
they
tried to cover that up in that dialogue of, hey, the trust is locked up tight. Couldn't even get the bank to talk to us about it. So he kind of covered his tracks there, but he's a suspect. He's a suspect. You know?
Correct. You're definitely correct.
Poor people don't look like Chris Pine, correct?
That was the thing. He's almost too good looking. You know, they could make him have long, greasy hair, the dirty beard, and he's just too pretty.
Just too pretty. Just too pretty. I love how, this is another thing, immediately Jeff Bridges is like, no, these boys are smart. I'm like, what? How do you think they're smart? Like, what? Because they took small bills. Like, I love that. They know one fact of the crime. They're like, oh, these boys are smart. There's 10 steps ahead of us. I didn't think they were that smart.
No. It's just kind of a movie trope, right? The old codgy cop knows everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Why doesn't Taylor Sheridan look like a writer? And what does a writer look like? When you see Taylor, he doesn't look like a writer, does he?
Not at all. He's just a big burly cowboy.
Man. It's 2000. Here's the other thing why I was so confused on the timing. It's 2016 and they're still using VCRs. They're like, oh, the VCR tape ran out. Or like, we don't have the VCR. When was the last time a VCR was in use anywhere, Mark?
Wow. Great question. When's the last time you even seen a VCR tape? 15 years? 20 years?
I don't have any. So they're Texas Rangers, which I guess are funded by the state, and they go to some town, and they get 2 hotel rooms. You think that when they go on the expense report, like, hey guys, can't you bunk up? When me and Clay go on golf trips, we sleep in the same room, like.
Which is bizarre. Just we don't need to get into how much money you have, but yeah, that's strange. I have the feeling that those rooms in West Texas, what do you think they're going for? Is that $29?
Yeah, maybe you're right. You're dead set on your own. It's just one night. Like come on. It's like you're hanging out with your buddies.
I'm a grown man. I need my space.
What are you doing in there? Just relax. Just go
Sleeping.
to bed. Yeah. That's fine. Mark, can you sit on a porch for an extended period of time drinking a beer?
Not a porch, but I can sit outside and drink a beer all day long, but it's not really a porch. It's more like a living room.
I know, but can you just no TV?
Oh, no. I'm watching TV. Yeah, no.
Hey.
I could do it for the length of one beer. I don't mind sitting outside, but just kind of one. Then I get bored.
It's just I just get so bored. I just like, oh, this is a nice night. Let's go do something. And then here's the question. The ultimate question is, so they needed they needed $40,000. Is there another way could they have stolen enough cars? Because every car they got is stolen, and they've got these West Texas things they can sell it to. An easier, quote unquote, safer way to raise $40,000. Now I understand where they're living, 40,000 might as well be $1 million.
Yeah.
But it's not $1 million. Is it 10 cars? Could they steal 10 cars?
Yeah, and then you got to sell the car. You got to do this. You got to do that. It seems plausible.
You're not going to die, and you're not going to have to kill anybody doing it. I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying, oh, $40,000, I got it in my pocket. I don't. But a better, safer, easier way. I guess maybe not a quicker way. I think that's the problem.
Yeah,
too.
They had it. It was the timing, right? They had to really pull it off. Unless you look, they went to the casino. They could have put it all
on Bob's
on black. Yeah,
more on Bob's big questions there. But yeah, those are all my questions.
Bob, you're in finance. Can you just launder money through a casino like this? They said it was basically untraceable.
Don't you get a ticket, and when it's over $10,000, I've never even come close to winning anything close to $10,000. But you get a ticket, but the only thing that ticket does is you then have to claim it on your taxes.
Yeah, so it's.
But yes, of course it's laundered. You're not getting your same money back, right? I mean, it's.
Well, now that you mention it, Ozark, one of the shows we love, that was how they laundered money.
The premise of the show. Yeah. And somehow it was laundered through owning the laundromat. I don't understand that either. I don't. And
loose change.
Owning a restaurant, I don't understand. Marty Bird is the only guy who understands how to do it.
Marty Bird. What a guy. I love the idea of burying the getaway car. I thought that was really cool. And then they kind of pan down to the grass that's overgrown it at the end. Never seen that in a movie. It's an interesting idea.
Well, he's that poor and he's got enough money to have a tractor and the gas and the this and the that. Like, does he own that land? Is he leasing that land? Could he have sold that? Could he have sold off a parcel of the land to get the 40 grand? Those are my questions. How poor was he? Like, I mean, really poor. Like, really.
That would have been a much more boring movie. Him selling off 2 acres for the 40 grand. Yeah. The only other thing I had, Bob, because you answered a lot of them. Why can't I look good in a cowboy hat? All of these guys, you think of like, let's say I was an actor. I was a competent actor, and they write up, hey, we would like you to be in Hell or High Water. And then I'm at costuming, they put the cowboy hat, and they go, this is not going to work. Like,
well, do you want to know the real answer?
Yeah, what is it? Is it the shape of my head?
It has nothing to do with it. It's the shape of your body. It's the shape of my body. Those guys, again, they work hard in a 4-hour stretch, harder than me and you have worked in our entire life. There's not an ounce of fat on them. Their skin is leathery. We put lotion on our face. Like, they're not putting lotion on their face. It's the whole thing. But it's mostly, Mark, the shape of your body.
So I got to get what? What do I have to do to my body in order for this hat to look good on my head? I got to get leaner and longer? Like, because those guys are all pretty lean, right?
Very, very lean. Yeah, you're not an overweight man, but you've got to lose about 180 pounds to look good there.
Wow, that is tough. And not a question, just an observation. A trope for every movie is just have one crazy guy, right? Either the crazy brother, the crazy friend. It's undefeated as a plot device, correct?
It's undefeated.
All right, let's get into some awards. You've already stolen the first one, Bob. The Denzel Washington Award for the biggest badass in the movie. The T-Bone waitress, Margaret Bowman. There was no one tougher in the movie. Did you agree?
All I wrote was, take your pick. Any extra. I mean, these guys that are like, well, if he runs into me, I'm going to fillet him on my hood in 30 minutes. Like, all of them are the best. They're all the best. They're all the biggest badasses.
Extra. I love that.
Any extra in the entire movie.
I've got a great one coming up here for the Matthew McConaughey Award for the best scene stealer of the movie, but I'm interested to hear yours first.
Well, we've got Margaret Bowman, the T-Bone waitress. Here's your pick. Margaret Bowman, the T-Bone waitress. The guy in the second bank who's just like the old man who puts his gun up there. He's like, y'all ain't even Mexican. And he just starts shooting them when they leave. I love that.
You know who that is? Do you know who that is, Bob? That's what makes it the winner. Do you know who that is?
I think he's old timer. I think in the IMDb, I think he's old timer or what is
he? He's old man, but the actual guy played Turkey Creek Jack Johnson in Tombstone.
Bingo.
That's the guy. That's the guy. The guy who basically says to Doc Holliday, "What are you doing here? He's my friend. Well, I got a lot of friends. I don't.
I don't. Yeah. Or the waitress from Four Christmases. So she was great too. So we'll give it to Turkey Creek Johnson.
Turkey Creek Johnson.
I think Turkey Creek. He got a Hall of Fame plaque for best nickname, Turkey Creek. I love that.
He was incredible. But yeah, the extras, just great extras in this movie.
Incredible.
The Tom Callahan Award for the best parent in this film, Bob.
So I've got some other questions. I thought about giving it to Chris Pine. He's rich now. He's making a cool 600 G's from this. He's incredibly good looking. And it seems like he's a good dude, but something went awry. So I'll give it to Alberto. I like Alberto. He seemed like a very good dude, well-centered. Well-centered dude.
That's what I had. Yeah, Alberto. Because, Jeff Bridges initially, but Alberto was probably the best guy kind of overall in the movie. Yeah, look, Toby's got some cash, but he is a bank robber. I don't think he shot anyone. Correct? No, that was all Tanner's
I don't even think the only guy he beat up was that guy in that green Charger.
He had it coming to him.
He had it coming to him.
All right, the Jenny Award for worst parent.
I got the banker at the end. He's like, what a scumbag. I love Chris Pine I left that part out. That's the when he's at the bank. He's like, well, it'll take to the end of the week to clear. It is the end of the week, and I want to watch you do it. I got all day. It could take a long. Yeah. I like that bank. The bank is just for the line of just in the nick of time. He's like, oh, you paid it off just in the nick. They did a great job of just vilifying the banking industry there. But again, very similar to these student loans. Like, you signed the paperwork to do the reverse mortgage, okay? So, like, just relax.
Yeah, I hated to do it because I love this guy's performance so much. But Ben Foster, Tanner Howard is probably the guy you don't leave your kids with, correct?
Not great.
Yeah, not a great.
But so part of me and your job is to protect our kids. Is anything happening to Ben Foster's kid, to Tanner's kids? No. Nothing.
He might pass out somewhere, at some point. You leave the kids alone. But yeah, he's protecting, his kids. He knew he was dying at the end, correct, Bob? Like when he gets out of the car, they kind of say goodbye. He knows he's going to die, correct?
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. He knew at some point he was going to get the tail off of his brother. Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah, they're not guys that say I love you, but he said it. He said I love you, which is probably not often said.
Correct. eBay award. What item from this movie do you most want, Bob?
I think the canceled check to Midland Texas Midland Bank. Kind of that canceled check. There's not much else in this, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just said some Texas Midland Bank swag, a shirt or something like that, a little cup. Maybe a coffee cup would be good. Texas Midland Bank. That'd be pretty good, but the canceled check.
Yeah. Canceled check would be good.
The Terrence Howard Award, this guy just keeps popping up in popular culture. He just won't go away. But the Terrence Howard Award for the worst decision.
What happened?
There's a lot.
Was he in the Diddy trial or something? What happened as of late?
No, he's just debating some guy that was on Rogan. I can't even remember the context, but they kept referring to Terrence Howard, making some audacious claim. Look, there was a guy who for about 2 weeks, people were like, "Is this guy the smartest guy on the planet? We've just missed it." The more he keeps talking, he's insane. Yeah,
we were on him. We never bought in.
Never. Yeah, you had it called. But what was the worst, Bob, out of this whole thing?
I mean, I think walking into a West Texas bank that's filled with 50 people with no plan, it's a really, really bad decision. It's just you got to step away and move out of there, which has ultimately led to his death. But they did get the money so maybe it's a great decision. I mean, just power through adversity, just power through challenges. Maybe I take it back. The Terrence Howard Best Decision Award was robbing that bank with all those people in it.
Here's a what would you do, but from the extra perspective. You have your carry license, correct, Bob?
Yes.
Let's say you're carrying. You're in a bank, which, again, we've covered on this podcast. There's no reason to ever walk into a bank again. And the bank's getting robbed. What are you doing?
I got a Bob's big question. Do you text? Do you push the button if you're a teller? Do you shoot somebody? I don't think I'm shooting. I don't think I am. I guess you would never know until you're in that situation. Like, I don't know what I would do, Mark. You?
What's the movie? It's Not My Money. It's Insured. We had a whole thing where it was just don't worry about it. It's not your money. It's insured. It was a plot device.
I think The Town. I think it's The Town, right? I mean,
was it The Town? Yeah. It's not your money. It's insured. Yeah. Good point. Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know that I would look. They just basically say, look, just be quiet, and everyone will get out of here.
I would sooner pull my gun out and shoot him than I would send a text message or push that button. Like, you don't want that. Like, oh, you got shot. Well, what did he do? He was trying to text someone during a bank robbery. Like, that's not great.
Yeah, bad way to go. A blaze of glory, like Young Guns.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Down. All right, it's time, Bobby. Time in hell or high water. Your big questions.
What a great movie. Mark, is it Indians or Injuns?
I think Injuns is funnier, but it's probably pronounced Indians.
Indians. Okay. All right. Good. Mark, closest to the pin. How many bank robberies in 2023? 2024 data not out yet. How many bank robberies, not robberies, bank robberies in the U.S. in 2023?
Well, it should be zero. If they listen to this podcast, they would understand there's no money left in these things. But clearly, since you're asking the question, it's still happening. 2023, over, under, I will say 3,500.
2,469 bank robberies. I'm surprised you guessed that high. I was going to guess like 6. Like I can't believe people are still doing this. It's incredible.
Seems strange.
Yeah. Mark, would you rob a bank if I asked you to?
Whose car are we taking?
So things happened. We went the wrong way, and I need some help. Mark, are you breaking?
I think
the
I would
law?
just give you. I would just give you the money, Bob.
Well, you're rich. That's so again, getting advice from rich people oftentimes can be a little tainted advice. Mark, if I ask you to do something illegal, I'm your brother. Are we doing it?
Sure.
All right, rapid fire. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Mr. Pibb or Dr. Pepper?
Dr. Pepper.
Mountain Dew or Mellow Yellow?
Neither.
McDonald's or Wendy's?
Wendy's.
Starbucks or Dunkin'?
Dunkin'.
Diet Coke or Coke Zero?
Diet Coke.
Lemon pepper or Buffalo?
Buffalo.
Okay, good. Okay, you won. You won. Great job. All right, so if I gave you $1 million, Mark, if I gave you $1 million and you were not afraid to lose it, how much could you make at the casino?
Well, I think eventually you're losing it. I don't think I would make any. Well, look, I have had some good runs. I had a couple good runs at a blackjack table.
The reason why the run stops or you don't do well, because at some point you get uncomfortable losing the amount of money, whatever that amount of money is, right? So you've got $1 million that you can't take it with you. It's either you get, how much money could you think you can make without a fear of losing it? And how would you go about doing it? $1 million on red? You just grind it out on your leather ass at the blackjack table? What do you do?
I think I would go to a craps table and just hope to get really, really hot, and just see where it would go. But look, I've had a couple good runs, but I mean, we're talking multiplying things 10x, So I guess best case scenario, it's 10 million.
Wow.
But it wouldn't happen, right? Because I almost think you're better off when you're gambling if you've got something to lose. Because if you don't, you just, all right, whatever. I'll just keep doubling down on this or doing this. You're probably going to lose it faster, right?
It's kind of like when you play like that online poker with fake money because you're just like goofing around. You don't, You need a little fear. You need a little fear in you. All right, well, I was going to do it with you, but now you seem too scared to do it, so I'm not going to do it. I don't even know what this question means. So he has at like noon, he's trying to have a beer with like a 14-year-old. What is the proper time to have your first alcoholic drink with your kids? When did you do it? Was it 21? Was it before 21? Are girls different? What was your first beer?
I think it's different. I always think everything's different with girls. Like Sammy, at some point you're going to crack open a beer like Clark and Rusty. You're going to have that.
But when?
That deal.
But when?
When? I would 16-ish. I think you start going with a little of the here taste. You're trying to demystify it, I think, to some degree. Don't make it so special. I'd rather them do it with me. All right, here's a little champagne at Christmas. Here's a little taste of wine. Here's a good thing. They generally don't like it. So it's kind of like you're better off doing it.
Okay.
I'd say when Sam turns 16, we have a beer with him.
It seems really young, and it ain't that far away.
No, and he'll hate it. Imagine he's like, what are you doing, right?
All right, Mark. Here is the $1 million question, and this movie really brought it home. Correlated to the question of can you sit on a porch? Are you worried about getting bored in retirement? And don't snap answer this. Are you worried about getting bored in retirement?
Me, no, because there is nobody I like hanging out with more than myself.
Okay.
I really am good on my own. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to be fine.
Really, just day after day after day after day. Now, people say, "What are you going to do? Play golf every day?" I'm like, "I'm going to try. That's what I'd like to try to do." But I do believe that there's got to be something. I just don't know if you can just quit everything. I don't know.
I'll just do this podcast every day.
Every day.
And a Sudoku puzzle.
Or Wordle. Wordle. Oh,
yeah, you got to keep the brain going.
Did you do Wordle yesterday?
No.
Do you ever do Wordle?
I have done it. I don't religiously do it. Some people are. Is that a thing with you? Every day.
I don't
crush that Wordle.
No, it's usually in the morning, just having a cup of coffee doing it. It's very good for that. And I won't bore you with Wordle stories. It was so annoying. Basically, it's a 5-letter thing. They tell you what letters, and like the second one, I guessed pager, so it's AGER. Pager, wager, lager. This it was eager. It's just so annoying. So annoying.
That's a terrible word. Eager.
That's it for Bob's big question. Nice job.
Oh, nice job to you.
Okay.
All right, the Rudy Sack Award, most emotional moment in the movie. I found several of these where I had some pretty good emotional swings. Bob, did you have a standout?
Yeah, I tell you, you mentioned one. It's not my winner, but when you just tell us the story about being poor, it's like there's no truer statement. It's like a disease. It's invasive. That guy. So they're in West Texas, and you don't need money to be happy, but like that house that the kid's living in, the backyard is just a mess, and it's just like, how can someone? That's why you just admire these people that just like. I think Jerry Jones is actually one of them. I think Jerry Jones was dirt poor. Like, it's not having the ability to do it, it's having your mind open up to be like, hey, I'm going to leave here and go to Dallas.
Yeah.
And go to, like, that is like, I get goosebumps now. Like, can you imagine, like, having the guts to do that? Nowadays it's the guts to, just leave the house, it seems like. I have a conversation with this with one of my main mentors of, like, I'm trying to, like, Chelsea and Ellie, like, hey, as soon as you get to college, that's it. Now, my mentors are telling me, like, hey, don't be so, like, absolute, because things happen and they might need to come back and this and that. But it's like, it was never a question. We were never coming back home after college, right, Mark? That was never. And it wasn't because I was so.
Seems very different. Seems very different now. I agree with you, Bob. That's what's one of the heartbreaking things that you're going to come to. I'm dealing with it now is this is it. Like Ellie's graduating, and this is kind of it, because that's what I did. It was just gone, period. But most people that I know now that are my age or a little bit older, there's kind of a rebound. I don't know if it's just, it seems awfully expensive, but I think you just got to go do it.
I think you got to go do it too. Again, my 10 and 12, you never know until you're there, but it's planting the seed of like, that's it. Like, you ain't coming back.
Yeah.
So that was good. But then when Alberto got shot, like all the ball busting, all the racist comments. I mean, Jeff Bridges was probably nominated for the 10-second clip when he realizes Alberto is shot. Like, it was awesome. It's a anger, crying. It was really sad when he got shot. I had forgot he got shot, the way he got shot, the way he didn't notice at first, and then he turns around, and it's like, it was really, really good. Very, very emotional when Alberto got shot.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. The funniest one to me is when they're on the run, all those people are chasing them after that last bank robbery, and Tanner gets out and just starts riddling the cars with bullets and that machine gun. Just his true insanity coming to play. It's a fun gem-like scene there. And then, but the real is the one at the end. Just him and Bridges just kind of staring each other down. Yeah. Maybe I'll give you peace. Maybe I'll give you peace. That whole thing, which is the dovetail, Bob, into the different ending. One, let's just start right here. Do you like this ending? Ambiguous, stand. I thought it was terrific. Right?
Perfect.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of ways to mess this up, like some weird shootout, or he sneaks into his house or does something.
No,
silly.
You hit it right. If this movie is made by someone else, the cops get shot in the back by the third brother that we didn't know about. Or the son, like the son.
There you go. That's what it would be. Or the wife that you don't really see. She comes. Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what happens. Written poorly. All right, so we agree. Great ending. I wouldn't change a thing. What do you think happens, Bob? You think he comes by his little place in town? You think they have it out, or do they just agree to disagree? I know what you did, you know what I did, and that's just the way it goes. What do you think?
I think they agree to disagree because they're probably both morally and ethically on the same line. It probably gets to, they say some cryptic stuff to where, like, hey, I never killed anybody, I never shot anybody, but you set the table for it. And it's just like, hey, we've both got to go our separate ways. This is both not good, although, Chris Pine is rich now, and plus, Bridges has nobody. He's got nothing. I don't think he has family. I don't think he has wife and kids. I think they mentioned that. He doesn't have wife and kids. So it's just, nothing ever comes to a head, but at some point they agree to move their separate ways.
You think they just fight online on Twitter? I know what you did. Maybe. All right, we transition into Hall of Fame plaques. I've got 4. Let's start right at the top. I think this guy was he's probably going to be my MVP. Taylor Sheridan. Is it Yellowstone? I mean, I think he's just Yellowstone, kind of Dutton Ranch, just kind of sits there.
It's Yellowstone, because there's a lot of things like, how many people know that Taylor Sheridan wrote Sicario? Not many. Not many. So, and I may have forgot it until I started researching this. So, but you think Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone?
You do. It basically gives them the right to do just about anything. And in fact, that's how they advertise. It's kind of like, hey, a Tarantino movie's coming out. Oh, a Taylor Sheridan written show is coming out. Is kind of essentially what they've done. Ben Foster, he was he was funny in this thing. He was really good as Tanner. He also is in Lone Survivor, playing Axe. He's in the program, that show about the movie Lance Armstrong. He kind of looks like Lance Armstrong. Again, a really good actor who I couldn't really find a lot of things that I think of. I kind of always just go, well, that's the guy from Lone Survivor, just because it was a book I really liked and a movie that I enjoyed watching. But do you think of him any other way?
I didn't even research him, because I couldn't even tell you where else he was at.
Yeah. Jeff Bridges, I mean, he's the dude, right?
He's the dude. I think we already litigated this, didn't we? What movie was he in that we've done? I should have looked that up. I think
he's been in True Grit. That was his other famous. Since
Iron Man. He was in Iron Man.
Iron Man. Yeah.
He's the dude. He's the dude.
A really good. Is you're starting to get into TV shows. Bob sitting in that cold tub. The Old Man. It's got Jeff Bridges in it, and he's an old. I won't give it away. It's
Mark,
got everything you want.
Listen, I know you work hard. It's Friday. We got to turn these beds over. You work hard. You're involved with your family, but the time you have to watch these shows is unbelievable. I don't know
Flights on the road.
You don't fly that much. You don't fly that much.
Hotel rooms. Yeah, I mean, you just knock these things out.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No work.
It's great. You just scan it up onto the TV now. Like you take it off your phone and whoop.
Do you have to do this motion like this?
Whoop.
Yeah.
You have to say it. Whoop. The dude, Jeff Bridges. All right, Chris Pine. I thought this was interesting. In my head, he's like this big movie star, right? Not really after further research, but listen to the cast of characters this guy's played. Captain James Tiberius Kirk, the Starship Enterprise. I mean, not many bigger dudes.
Though? How come those weren't? I loved those, and I'm not even a Star Trek guy. They were awesome.
Yeah, really good. I'm not really sure what happened. Captain Steve Trevor from Wonder Woman. I mean,
he's great. I think that might be my winner. That's who I think
Might be. He also plays Jack Ryan. It was an average one at best. They tried to reboot it. He's really good in Hell or High Water, but he's almost, to our point, just a little too good looking to be on there. What is he, Bob? Captain James T. Kirk? Captain Steve Trevor?
I think he's the guy from Wonder Woman.
Trevor. How is that possible? This guy's not been in bigger movies.
I don't know. He was in that weird one that was written by that woman that was like supposed to be great. I don't know. No, it's very weird. Very
strange,
weird.
Right? Bad agent? Too much money? What's going on here?
Maybe he just had enough. Maybe he's one of those guys who's like, I have enough money. Maybe he's that guy. He's like, I got enough money. I don't have to do all this stuff.
In our bank heist movie in Chicago, he's going to play me, Chris Pine.
That's not a bad. I'm going to be. Well, Renner's playing me as Jem. He's just going to be Jem and be like, that's Bob. With a cowboy hat. It looks good on a horse.
What Hall of Fame plaques you get?
Best looking man. I mean, I had to do it. I do this every once in a while.
Yeah.
This is struck on how good looking
he is good looking.
So you got Chris Pine, Denzel, Chris Helmsworth, Gosling, Clooney, Pitt, Pattinson, Idris Elba, Richard Gere, and Bradley Cooper.
Jeez. More and more Gosling to me is turning into the best looking guy, right?
Although I think he's doing something. He's doing something with his face. I don't
know.
I don't know. I'm going Chris Pine. I'm on. What is it called? I'm in prison moment.
Prisoner of the moment. Yeah.
No, but what does Simmons say? He says I'm on Moment Island in prison or something like that. Chris Pine. Chris Pine gets the award.
Okay.
All right, best sheriff or cop in a movie. Okay, so you've got Bridges in this one. He's pretty good. You got Denzel in Training Day. You got Buford T. Justice in Smokey and the Bandit. You got Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive and No Country for Old Men. You got Little Bill, Gene Hackman in Unforgiven. You got the sheriff of Nottingham, Hans Gruber. You got Wyatt Earp, and you got Teasel from First Blood. Best sheriff or cop in a movie.
Yeah, the best is Wyatt Earp from Tombstone. Not Wyatt Earp, but from Tombstone.
from Tombstone. Best brother combo in a movie. Best sibling combo in a movie. We've done this before. No idea who got it last time, but we got Anna and Elsa from Frozen. We got Luke and Leia, Thor and Loki. I'm going to leave the winner I just remembered who won. We got Brennan and Dale from Step Brothers. We got Sonny and Michael Corleone. We got Jake and Elwood from the Blues Brothers. We got Brendan and Tommy from The Warrior. And I think the winner when we did this last year is Boondock Saints.
It is. It's the Boondock Saints. Yes.
That's still the winner.
Still the winner. Still the
over
winner.
Tanner, over Pine.
Toby and Tanner. Yeah. It's a Boondock because they're more on the same. They're both insane.
Yeah. We do Boondock Saints pretty quick here.
Sure.
All right. Last one. Best name for a West Texas town. Van Horn, Marfa, Alpine, Azona, Lukenbach, Pecos, Shafter, and Imperial. Best name for a West Texas town.
Imperial? That's good. I like it. Imperial, Texas.
I kind of like Alpine. They're kind of like tongue-in-cheek, like Alpine. I didn't include the big ones like, Odessa and Midland and stuff. Those would have won. So Imperial.
Let's do it.
Best West Texas town.
Yeah, I'm from Imperial, Texas. I mean, you messing with a guy from Imperial, Texas?
No. Mary and Olivia going to Waco. Mary, Olivia, and Aunt Michelle going to Waco in a couple months.
Oh, well, look, it's a lot. Have you ever been to Waco?
No, but Olivia loves that Magnolia. She wants to go see that.
That's my point. Waco who are those guys? What's
Chip and Joanna.
Chip and Joanna. Whew, those guys deserve every nickel that they've made out of that. They've turned an otherwise kind of rough place into your family is going there.
Mary and Olivia
for that.
Are going to Waco, Texas.
Yeah, that's incredible. They deserve everything that they've got. Chip and Joanna, nice job. I think they're back. Aren't they back on a TV show? They had retired. They're back. Who knows?
Well, money. We can make more money? Yeah, let's do that. Let's make more money.
So I know Musk is the richest guy in the world, but do you think per capita that the Chip and Joanna would be the richest people living in Waco? They got to be. Money they have.
Yeah, that's a good point. What's the smallest town with the rich? I mean, Omaha is not that small of a town, and Buffett's walking around there. And then Bentonville, Arkansas is a small town, and they got the Waltons going.
Yeah. All right, they probably got more than Chip and Joanna, but they're not. They're doing just fine.
Correct.
MVP of this one, Bob. This was a fun one to watch. Who do you got? I got Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah, it's Sheridan.
Yeah.
It's again. I don't know if I think I'm getting better at reviewing movies. I really do. That's a stupid thing to say, but it's like you can tell that this one is written just incredibly and directed in the story. So a year ago, we would never given the MVP to a writer, but look at us. We're growing up.
Yeah, a year ago, it probably goes to Tanner just because he's the funniest, comic relief.
Yeah.
But yeah, this thing is just it's tight. Everything made sense. There was no glaring plot holes. And to your point, no way the ending works if they don't do it the way they did it. It just kind of sums up the whole movie. We finish with podcast predictions. I have been on a roll with the University of Kentucky baseball. I said 4 out of 6. They swept Oklahoma. They blew one last night against Vandy. But we think they're getting in, Bob. Do you need me to predict anything else for Coach Mangione?
Oh, Mark. So I know Joe Bay is mad because he thought we were going to forget him. I was waiting for this. So they're playing the Vandy boys, which I hate Vandy boys. It's annoying. Mark, I'll tell you this, Mark. There is nothing like loving a sports team that's good and following. I freaking love Kentucky baseball. I won't miss a game. It's so fun. Now, obviously, my buddy coaches there, so that makes it easier. But it's so fun following it. But then you just get your heart ripped out. So you predicted there was 6 games. They needed to win. They needed to win 4 to guarantee themselves. Well, they sweep Oklahoma. Right? They sweep Oklahoma, who is 17th in the country. So all the predictions have them in the NCAA tournament, but they still need one more. They're at Vandy, ranked number 9 in the country, up 2, bottom of the 9th, 2 outs, 2 strikes. And this guy grooves of meatball. This freaking ball has not landed yet. This guy mashes it. So we lose on a walk-off. The place is going nuts. But we got 2 more games to get 1 for your prediction to come true.
We will get it done. Now, your real prediction for this week, Bob, the PGA Championship teed off yesterday. it's a leaderboard reminiscent of the Mayakoba Classic. You got to dig really, really deep down this board to find somebody. I don't know what that says. Golf is hard. It's hard to believe that this won't eventually the cream rises to the top, Bob. But do you have it more likely that just Ryan Gerard holds on, or some guy named Fox wins it, or Scheffler's just kind of lurking back there at 200? He winds up winning this thing, correct?
I would probably say, or I really like the way JT Poston was really hitting his irons, yesterday. But yeah, you would think, if now he's not Tiger, he's not even remotely close to Tiger, but in Tiger's heyday, if he shoots 200, it doesn't matter if the leader shot 17 under, he's winning the tournament. So I would probably say Scheffler is going to be there at the end here. So I'll give the prediction of Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty. Let's go Keegan. Captain Keegan Bradley. That would have the fans really revved up
JT
and ready to go.
JT Poston with the backdoor top 10.
Perfect. All right. Enjoy the PGA Championship. We'll see you next week for Braveheart on the podcast.